All right. I don't know how I did that, but I accidentally muted myself. So let me start again and say happy Monday. I hope that you are off to a wonderful start to your week. How's it been going? Last Monday, I was actually upstate visiting my parents. So I skipped a Monday unexpectedly. It was kind of a last minute idea. So I have missed you all. And so here we are back again. Monday Motivation, Healing Journey Reflections. And this one is inspired by something that came to my attention, something that I have been thinking about because it is really disturbing me. It's bothering me a lot. And my question is it worth it? And what is the it? You're probably like, what is it? The it is your goals. Are they worth it? So here is the big problem. And the real big problem, not in every case, of course, and not in every situation, but when we set our goals around a identity that has been broken, when we set relationship goals, when we set business goals, career goals, financial goals, whatever those goals are, and we're coming from a broken place and we're setting our goals from a broken identity of people pleasing, perfectionism, comparison of my life with someone else's life or your life with someone else's life. These things are they going to be worth it? These things are going to not maybe be worth it. You might find yourself in a situation, professionally or personally, in a job or in a marriage that you never meant to get into. So let me start with this story that came to my attention. Now, this is someone I have yet to work with, but I hope that someday I will be able to work with this person, because what happened is this person has a career where she is a teacher. And, I formerly was a teacher, and I still am a teacher, just in a different sort of way now. But as you know, a lot of times teachers are taken advantage of. And so this particular person has, career goals. And yet, what happened is her school just didn't find an extra teacher. They needed an extra teacher. So what happened was this person said, sure, I'll teach my classes and I'll teach this other person's classes. This other person being like someone who was not hired. So I'll take on a double schedule. Let me tell you, this is the third time that this has happened to this person. This person has career goals of advancement, career goals of being successful, career goals of making an impact in the world, like all teachers do, right? Wanting to make people's lives and educate, right? But for the third year is working, not in a row, but it's the third year that this has happened, where this person is teaching a double load of classes and was passed over for a promotion. There were promotional opportunities, or there was a promotional opportunity at work, was passed over it. Wasn't even brought to the interview table, even though this person submitted well-qualified documents and resumes saying, hey, I'm qualified for this position. Could you at least interview me? No, passed over. and in a meeting was told that, you know, we don't need this extra funding. We can take this money for this additional position that we couldn't fill and just allocate it towards something else. So they closed the position. They're not even looking for another teacher to like come in at any point this year, believing that this person who has these career goals is going to just finish out the year. It's October. This person is exhausted. All right. When I say that it has been bothering me, it has been bothering me because what is being done is this person is being taken advantage of. And how could this happen, right? How could this happen? Why is this going on? And this is something that I have noticed a lot of people do. They have like major success in one area. They're major ambitious in like a professional, right? They're getting doctorates. They're trying to climb the corporate ladder. They're doing all these things, right? Professionally, they're strong, but then their personal relationships are out of whack, right? So is it worth it? Is it worth it when you set a goal and that goal is set and it's becoming hard for you? When you are doing, and I am doing goal setting, here's the important thing. We want to think about our goals in terms of, are they fluid? Is there like a fluid transition between my personal, my relationship, and my professional goals? Are these things all flowing together? Are they all in alignment with who I am? Or is something just like really taking over my life and like long term taking over my life? Of course, things happen in life, right? Lifes. And so sometimes something will take place in our life that kind of moves us into having to spend a little extra time for a few months, right? Being a little bit, out of harmony and like really kind of delving into fixing one specific aspect. But when our goal to be professionally successful becomes so dominant, right, that nothing else is happening, our personal finances, our personal relationships are now non-existent. Our self-care is just what is that, right? This is a lot of times what I have noticed, and I've noticed this also in myself, is because of a broken identity. This could happen in addition. I've seen this, and I've talked to different people over the years where it wasn't a professional goal, they had relationship goals. And they became like the ideal, the perfect girlfriend or the perfect wife. And that, or trying to be the perfect girlfriend or trying to be the perfect wife. And they took on this identity and lost themselves in the relationship. So putting aside friends, putting aside family, right? This was something like I had seen like the very first time up close with a former roommate, right? In college, where she put everything into her relationship. And by the end of our sophomore year, she literally was isolated, socially isolated, because she had put everything into this relationship. But a lot of times what happens is something in us has been broken. A lot of times it goes back to childhood. Maybe we could not please our parents. Maybe we were afraid of being abandoned by a parent, a mother or a father. Maybe we felt that we had to be a certain way to get love or approval. Maybe the only time we were complimented or received any type of attention was when we did like an outstanding job at school and got a 100 on a quiz or a test, right? And so we've learned how to perform, or we have become afraid of losing people that we love. And so we try to like all consume and focus in on a relationship, or all consume and prove ourselves through our work, right? So very performance based. And it's because our identity, we haven't healed it. We haven't taken the time to heal it. So if any of this is resonating with you, if you are looking right now, think about your life right now. And I even have to do this because, a couple months ago, I looked at my schedule and I said, oh my goodness, what am I doing to myself? I am going to this, to this, to this, to this. I wasn't taking breaks in my day. My schedule was just, I get that the life of an entrepreneur and all of that is, a lot of work, right? And it takes a lot of time, especially to get things going, even with automation, to even just set up automated systems, whatever it is. But I had to look at my schedule and I said, wait, I am out of alignment. My life is not flowing together. What am I doing to myself? I said, I am a confidence coach and I'm sharing with people, make sure you take care of yourself, to practice self-care. And I am sitting at the computer and I am like trying to get stuff done. I had to go back through and redo my schedule. And then I tried it out for a couple days and I said, this is not working. Let me revise it. Let me put in some new goals, right? So I put in like a new goal of having to do either something that I've never done before, at least once in a week, or it could be something I've done before, but some kind of fun activity, right? I had to literally put it into my calendar. I had to put into my calendar, I had to write in, and it's not even working perfectly for me. I'm going to be honest, right? But I literally had to write into my planner on this particular day, once a week, I wrote in rest day for Tuesdays. And so even on Tuesdays, while I may have things that I have to do, appointments, I may book a photo shoot, I may meet with someone, I try to make my schedule real light that day so that I can also play and have my self-care time and my personal time and my time to like have, fellowship with my friends, with my family, relationship time, right? That's why I went upstate last week. I said, wait, I haven't seen my parents since the end of August, right? The way my schedule is looking like it's going to work out, I may not see them again until December. I said, that's a long time. Let me make time. Let me change things around in my schedule a little bit so that I can go visit them because they're older. And, every day is a gift, right? So let me rework my goals, because is it worth it? Is it worth it to have a successful business and not have my relationships? Is it worth it to have a successful business and not have taken any time for myself? Right? So when I am speaking to you, let me tell you, I am not just speaking to you. There's no judgment. I am not perfect either. I also, am working through things, right? And, I can get caught up and find myself a little bit out of harmony, right? Where things are not flowing and I'm just kind of stuck. So this is for all of us, right? It is the fall season. This is a new season. So this is a great time to begin thinking about this. This year, 2022, is going to wrap up. In the business realm, we're in the fourth quarter stretch. We're about ready to start a new year. How do we want to go into the new year? How do we want to finish this year? Do we want to, like, of course we want to finish it strong. We all want to finish successfully. But I challenge you, just like I'm challenging myself, what is worth it? How is it worth it? How much is too much? So when I was thinking about what I wanted to share, um, there was something that I felt that God brought up to me, and it's talking typically about work. And the verse says it's Proverbs 24:33. Proverbs 24, verses 33 to 34. It says, a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, and poverty will come to you like a thief, and scarcity like a armed man. Now, a lot of times this is taught from a work perspective, like you have to work. What I thought about and what I felt like this was also saying is, if we just chill too much in our other parts of our life, if we just kind of fold our hands and don't pay attention to our personal life, our relationships, and just focus on the professional life, we actually could get to the end of our life and realize that we are poor, right? What is the ultimate end goal that almost any of us do anything for, right? We do it for legacy. We do it maybe to leave for our children or society or our communities a better place, right? We want to build and uplift our communities. We want our children and our grandchildren and our great grandchildren and our great great grandchildren, right? We want to leave legacy, right? We want to leave things in place, right? Where we can pass down generational wealth and all that. But wouldn't it be great if, like, people also knew who mom was, who dad was, who great great grandma was, not just this lady who left us, some generational wealth, but like who we actually were. Like, oh yeah, she loved to laugh, she loved to dance, she loved this, he loved to, go on adventures, he was, he was kind, right? Like, we want to actually be known not just for what we've done, but who we are. And I also thought this song, I remember, I think it was maybe fifth grade, I remember learning this song in music class, and it always disturbed me. I always hated it. And it's about this little boy, and I don't remember the exact words because, like I said, it really disturbed me, and I really hated it as a child. And yes, I mean that as dramatically as it sounds when I say I hated it. It bothered my spirit when I heard it. It made me so sad. It's this little boy, and he's having this conversation with his dad, and he's like, "Hey, Dad, when can we do this? When can we play ball?" And his dad's like, "Well, not right now, son. I'm kind of busy." And his son is like, "Oh, Dad, you are the coolest. When I grow up, I want to be just like you." And then the song switches, and now the little boy is a man and his father is an old man. And his father's like, "Hey, son, let's go chill. Let's go hang out." I'm totally making up the words. It's like a folk song with like a banjo, I think. It's the kid's not like, dad, the father's not saying, "Let's go chill." I'm paraphrasing. But the kid is like, who's now a grown man, is like, "Well, Dad, I'm busy right now because I grew up to be like you. I'm so proud of myself. I'm like you." And his father is now an old man, and he's like, "Damn, I never had time with my son. I was too busy with him, too busy for him when he was little. And now that I have time, now that I'm older, retired, he's too busy for me." So are our goals really worth it? And I am not by any chance saying just throw away your goals. I'm not saying throw away your professional goals or your business goals or your end of the year quarter goals if you're an entrepreneur, or if you work for a company, you have a day job, your goals of, getting a promotion. I'm not saying not to pursue those things, but I am challenging you to look at how your life is going. Look through your schedule. When when you're looking at it, there should be kind of three parts, right? We're not a one-sided human being. We're body, mind, spirit, right? And just like God is the Father, Son, and a Holy Ghost, Holy Spirit. He's a three-part God, and we are created in God's image, and we are three-part beings, right? So I broke this down, the types of goals based on that. We have our personal and our self-care, and the personal can include like the finances, right? Then we have our relationships. That can be with our spouse, with our fiancés, with dating, with our children, with our parents, with our friends. Relationships are so important. A lot of times, there's the one thing that can get us out of bed sometimes, right? And then there's the professional side of us. And if you're looking at it and you're only focusing and you're finding that day after day you're seeing a pattern that for the past, we're in the 10th month, so for the past 10 months it's been mostly this. And I get it, sometimes we have to push, and I get it. And I live in New York City, and so it's really a hustle mindset, and it's the city that never sleeps, and sometimes I think it's a little much. But if things are like really one-sided, or like you're putting all of your energy into your relationships, trying to be a good friend, trying to be loyal, and you've totally neglected and pushed off to the side your business, and you're like, well, I can't start my business yet because I have to help my mom, or I have to help my best friend, and you're always pushing your professional goals aside to support your friends. Again, also, you might want to check that and say, well, let's see, maybe I need to set some boundaries with my friendship. Okay. Self-care as well. Like if you're always pampering yourself, if all day, every day, you're just chilling, taking care of yourself. I mean, we all need rest, but how's that affecting your relationships? How's that affecting your career, your business, right? So we don't want to be one-sided. We want to kind of have this all like fluid where it should be all in alignment. And the best way to get these goals situated and have things flowing properly is by healing and redefining our identities. Why are these things so important? Why am I constantly trying to prove myself? Why am I constantly trying to get affection and love and approval? Why am I always trying to like hustle? Why am I always like focused on myself? Now, self-care is important, but why am I always focused on myself and never on anyone or anything else? Like, what's going on, right? Why am I doing this? Really, when our identity has been broken, we haven't healed or begun healing from it. We are functioning, like I said at the very beginning, we are functioning in places of deficit because we're trying to be worthy, or we're trying to prove ourselves, or we're trying to get it right, get the answer right, do it all correctly, check all the boxes of our life that society said we should check. And this is a big problem. I'm looking at my notes. I had someone tell me a few months ago, no, I haven't done any healing work on myself. I haven't. I look forward to the day that I start therapy. What? No, you have to start healing and redefining your identity now, not someday down the road. Because here's the thing, and I had spoken a little bit also on it last week, when we are just like going after things from like a position of brokenness, from hurt, from pain, and we haven't healed, we actually may even be going down a path that's out of alignment for what we were meant to do, right? We may be trying to pursue things that look good. They make us look good. We look good to others, But inside, we're not feeling fulfilled. We're feeling burnt out. We're feeling tired. We're feeling overwhelmed. We're feeling exhausted. And it may not even be something that we're supposed to pursue. Or maybe we are supposed to pursue it, but we're, like out of balance. Like this person that I was mentioning at the beginning, I honestly believe that in education, like that's a good fit for this person, that this person is in a place where this person was meant to be professionally, but it's literally taken over this person's life to an extreme. And that's not good, right? So when you're out of a broken identity and you're trying to like be the hero, right? You're aiming to please. You're thinking that like by doing all of these things, you're going to get rewarded, like expectations that are coming into place. Like if I do this and I do that, then I will receive this, right? Those are things that are when you like thinking that has to do with brokenness, because a lot of times expectations are actually going to lead to anger, to frustration. Because if I do X, Y, and Z, it does not guarantee that A, B, and C is going to happen for me, which is what happens in this person's case. They've done X, Y, and Z over and over and over again. And now they're getting passed over for promotions. Why? Because the school's not going to want to lose their little worker bee, right? Why would they want to do that? They've got a good thing in this person who's permitting themselves to being abused, right? And this happens, like I said, all of the time, all of the time. I've seen it happen a lot in education. I've never worked in corporate, but I'm pretty sure from stories that I've heard of other people who've worked in corporate that this does happen a lot, where you're like, oh, if I do this and I do that and I do things just right, I will get this reward. People also do it in marriages, right? Or in dating. If I do this or that for this person, then they owe me. They owe me ABC. No, they don't. And then that expectation is not met. And then the person becomes angry, resentful, bitter. And then there's even more healing that has to be done. So it's so important that, of course, we're not perfect. And, I'm not saying just like pause your life until you, go and start healing. But you want to be really careful when you're setting your goals that you're not going to just kind of go down a path that is maybe not for you, or go down a path where you're going to find yourself and open yourself up for being abused, for being taken advantage of, because you yourself have these unmet needs of trying to be the hero, trying to be the savior, trying to be the perfect person, trying to please others, right? These are things that like I see a lot, and I have done as well. But here's the thing, my trying to please was not in my work. So a lot of times we have like one strong area where I had like very strong boundaries, and I had no problem telling when I was a teacher, my principals, no. No is a 1-2 letter word. It's one word. It is also a complete sentence, right? I had no problem saying no. But because of things that I had gone through, or things that I was not emotionally met with, and I hadn't always felt secure and loved growing up, I then, in my dating relationships, I had a hard time sometimes saying no, and I was inconsistent. I had some people who I dated and I was like very strong with, and very good boundaries. I was like, nah, that's not happening. Goodbye. And then I had other people who I was like, boundaries? What boundaries? There's no boundaries. So I was inconsistent, right? I had to learn how to heal my identity. I had to heal and realize that love cannot come from someone else, that security cannot come from someone else. And yes, as women, especially in relationships, we do need to feel secure, right? But at the same time, no one owes me security. And so I had to like really heal and redefine my identity in order to begin seeing things differently. So that is what I wanted to share this evening with you. Is it worth it? Are the things that you are pursuing and going down and going so hard after, is it worth it? Where is it leading you? Are you going in a place that's kind of fluid with this in your personal, in your relationship and professional life parts of you? Or are things like somewhat okay here, not so good there, out of balance? So just kind of look it over. What I am really good at helping people do is sort through this. So if you need any help with, re-examining your goals, going back through things, figuring out even where to start, reach out to me. I'm going to put the link in the comments below, in the description below this video, so that you can set up a time and we can chat and I can find out exactly how I can help you and if I can help you with your goals, with getting everything back on track so that your life is not just kind of going like that VA commercial back in the, was it 80s, 90s? There was that guy and he came out of his house and he was crooked and the commercial was like, have you had your V8? And he'd go back in and he'd drink his V8 and he'd be like straight up, right? So, we want our goals not to be like this. Oh, I'm out of the frame. We don't want to be like this in our life with our goals. We want it, there should be some fluidity where there's like movement and we're progressing. And we're happy doing it. We're not burnt out. We're not overwhelmed. And we don't come to poverty at the end of our life. The last thing any of us want is to end up at the end of our lives and be like, damn, I worked too much. I don't have anything left over here in my relationships, or I put everything into my relationships. What did I accomplish professionally? I didn't do any of the things professionally, right? So let me know. I am happy to talk with you. I have like a whole whole little mini activity that I would be happy to work through with you to help you get back on track, get into more of a fluid harmony with your life, with your goals, so that you're not at one extreme or another. And you finish up this year feeling good about yourself, feeling good about where you're going next, feeling good about going into the 2023 year, having more harmony, feeling confident, and doing it all with peace, not worried about, well, if I say no to someone, or if I don't meet expectations here or there, without fear. So you're moving through everything, confidently, without that worry or that insecurity. So I can definitely help you with that. If anything that I have shared with you resonates with you, let's chat. And I look forward to hearing you. And I will be back next week with another Monday motivation, Lord willing. So for now, peace.